Welcome to episode 109 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. Using research and my personal experiences where I actually set foot in some of these places, I'll be describing some of the unknown attractions in both the US and around the world, as well as share some hidden landmarks. This week, I continued the conversation with Collin about his trip to Nebraska. In episode 108, he talked about some of the sites and locations he visited near Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska, such as the University of Nebraska Stadium and the Sunken Gardens. I recommend listening to episode 108 before listening to this episode.
That same day on Tuesday, I walked to the world-famous Clark Leonard House. It's the oldest building of all Lincoln. So that was the main reason I wanted to go to the Clark Leonard House. But it was phony because online it claimed you could tour it. When I got there, it was nope, not tourable.
Oh, was it closed that day, or did they just not offer tours?
No, it's like private residence now. The website was out of date. It was a nice house. There's nice to see it. I can see why it has a plaque that says the Clark Leonard Home and signed Clark Leonard Home, historical monument. Walk into the Clark Leonard Home, you pass by the state capitol building. So I got to see that too. So I took pictures of the Nebraska state capitol and got to see that. I got to compare it to the New Mexican state capitol, so that's kind of interesting.
How was that capital different from the New Mexico capital?
The Nebraska state capitol building is cooler. The one in New Mexico is kind of blah. There are a lot of buildings nearby, and Santa Fe, the city is very historical and gorgeous, and really love the atmosphere. Whereas some of the buildings are kind of cold and dark, just office building type.
So it doesn't have that aesthetic that you were looking for.
Whereas the Nebraska state capitol clearly did. If you saw it, you'd immediately know it was the state capitol. It was really pretty. There was a lot of green, trees and grass, and it was really pretty. Mm-hmm. And it's the tallest building in the city in Lincoln. So if you're looking for the tallest building, go there. And if I think you got to take a tour, but you can. They offer them every hour. But you can go all the way to the top. I think it's 4 stories, the top of the tower, and take a rooftop view. So you can look out into the city, see everything from that rooftop. I think I could have met the senators there during the tour, but I'm not from Nebraska and I don't really know the senators, so I didn't have the desire to see them. So I got to see that on Tuesday, and then towards the end of Tuesday, we went to the Tina Turner musical. So the Tina Turner musical was at the Lead Center, which is on campus, so on University of Nebraska's campus. And my sister got free tickets because she's in the art program, so they gave her free tickets.
Oh, was it a student production, or was it...
Oh, no, it's Broadway level. It was they're on tour, Broadway level production. But it was the final dress rehearsal, so it's I guess it could have been different in theory compared to Once and Wet Live. But I don't really think so, because they seemed completely ready. So to me it was a real show. And it was a real show. It was exactly what you'd see, except it was the final dress rehearsal. But it was good, and the lady who played Tina Turner was excellent. She really had to be active because she was on stage the whole 3-hour runtime. And there's lots of singing and dancing nonstop, every scene. So she had to be active the whole entire play. And then the acting itself was really good. The story was good. Some stories that make them convoluted. It's based on historical persons. This is too confusing. But this one was not. It was pretty focused. Where she grew up, then how she got noticed, then when she joined her husband in the band, and then how she had to make a comeback tour because her career was over. And then how she got noticed once her comeback started. And all her songs that her famous ones were played, so it was cool to hear them. I would recommend going. Then Wednesday, I went to the Havelock District. It's a historical district in Lincoln. I wanted to go there, so I had to take the bus. That was the first day I took the bus. So I took the local bus from near the apartment to Walmart, because in Lincoln, Walmart is king, because every single bus line almost goes to Walmart. So I got to go to the Havelock District because I wanted to see for lunch this restaurant called the Engine House Cafe, and it used to be a old fire station in Lincoln. So it was a fire station turned into a restaurant, so that's why I wanted to go there.
Did they have any of the equipment there to remind you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They had a lot of stuff on display, hatchets and firefighter helmets and old stuff, photos and firefighter jackets and pieces from the original fire engines. So it was cool. And one of the most famous cuisines that was invented in the state of Nebraska was served there, so that was no reason I wanted to go. The Reuben sandwich was invented in Omaha. And I know the story behind it, so I can tell you that if you want to hear it.
Yes, I do want to hear it. Of course.
So The Reuben sandwich, which I like it, it's corned beef, very good. It was invented at the Blackstone Hotel in Omaha, and this was like 1920s, I think. There was a poker game going on, and the owner of the hotel was hungry, and he said he wanted like a sandwich with like corned beef, sauerkraut, on rye bread. He's like, make me it. So the chef invented it. So he came up with like those ideas and made it. And then he named it after the chef, so it's called the Reuben. So like that's why it became big. He invented like a poker game at the Blackstone Hotel. So that was cool to go there. And then I went to see this old theater that was next door called the Yo-Yo Theater. And it's this historical theater for like over 100 years that they have different movies on during the week. They only had one that was on a Friday. It was Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was the show they're going to be playing. So that was interesting. That would be cool to see it like inside the theater.
So they only played old movies?
Yeah, one old movie every Friday.
Oh, that's cool. To relive an experience of what it would have been like seeing a movie in theaters.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show was pretty old, so that would have been cool to see. So that was the Havelock District. There was some other stuff I went to shopping. There's this place called 8th Street Antiques, which is in the Havelock District. And this one, if you go there, you have to be prepared.
Why?
Because it's very eclectic and well-known. It's like I don't want to bash the place. Just it was cool. But like it has piled high like boxes and stuff. All the merchandise piled high. So like everything's like up to the ceilings. So, like, you have to be careful where you're walking because everything's, like, up to the ceilings in the place. But lots of cool antiques, like, from 100 years ago and, like, random memorabilia, random antiques. So, like, if you want to find something, you could probably find something there. I didn't find anything. I just got overwhelmed because it was too claustrophobic. But it was cool to go to it, though. And then there was this other antique store near there. It was, like, ghost antiques. Supposed to be stuff that was like spooky or like haunted. So that was pretty cool.
Was it haunted that they just said, "Oh, this came from a dead person's home," or was it actually like tied to a spirit?
I think it was just like for dead people because they had one that was like touched by like JFK or that kind of thing. Like maybe it was involved in some event long ago. Or I don't think it was like haunted in terms of like this clock is haunted by some benevolent spirit. I don't think it was that. And then to end on Wednesday, we went to see Eurydice, the play, on campus. Because my sister had done some design costume work for the play.
Ooh, what costumes did she do?
The main villain in the play, she designed this hat that he wore. She was like a red hat cap with like a spinner on the top. She designed that. Like, you know those little caps with like the spinners that spin around?
Yeah.
Yeah, she designed that. And she designed some of like she's like hemmed and sewed the jeans that the main woman wore for most of the play. And then she had worked on one of the main guy's suits, so she did some different work. It was an interesting play. It's based on like the historical myth, but this was like an updated 1960s version. So Orpheus, who's like the god, is marrying Eurydice, and then she dies. So then he has to go to hell to like rescue her. So like she's stuck in the underworld with her dad. Her dad's in hell, and she finds him in hell. So then Orpheus has to use his music because he's like a musical prowess. Like he's like god with music. So he has to use his music to get to hell. So when he gets down there, and the Prince of Darkness, or the Lord of the Underworld's there, and he's like, she'll never escape. And the hat that had the spinner was designed for the Lord of Darkness. It was well done. His acting was very well done. And the guy who was the Prince of Darkness, I don't remember the name, but Lord of the Underworld or Prince of Darkness, one of those names, the actor was very good. And he played some villain in the beginning of the play. So he played like some mafia boss, and then he played like this Lord of Darkness. So he played two roles or villains, and he did a good job. But he had to change his voice because he had like adult voice at the beginning, but then he turned into like a kid, so he had like a nasally voice. And he rode around on a tricycle, and he had like really nasally voice. And then he grew older again because he's like, now I'm grown up again. So he wore stilts this time. So he's walking stilts in like a red satin robe. He's like, I'm a grown man now. So that was Wednesday. So then Thursday, I went to some more museums. So I went to the Nebraska History Museum, which was well done. They had a lot on display from like archaeology and then artifacts from Nebraska and like Lincoln itself, marching band uniform, fashion from different period in Lincoln, and different like records they had on display. So it was well done. And I liked the museum. It was a good like example to see how Lincoln's changed, famous events that took place in Lincoln. And then more Native American art too, which was well done. And then I also went to the International Quilt Museum, which I highly recommend going there. So the quilt museum was very well done. It had lots of famous quilts. So the first floor, the quilts involved music. So the artist was a French woman, and she uses Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, classical music, and then ties it in with the quilts, like to tell a story. They also had some Chinese quilts too, which were interesting. They talked about the different meanings from like ancient China in terms of like protecting young boys. So like it would have 5 different symbols. I think it's the tiger, centipede, snake, scorpion, and then I think it's the monkey. Like, and they each play a different role in terms of like protecting the child from like evil spirits. And then they had other cool quilts, like 3D level quilts. So it was really well done. Like, it's interesting to see how difficult quilt making, how interesting it can look. And they also had cat quilts too, which was fun. So that was the quilt museum. We went to the the soccer game later. We saw University of Nebraska women's soccer team play Purdue. And my cousin Aiden goes to Purdue. So it was a rivalry game. And Nebraska beat Purdue, so bragging rights. And it was a fun game. It was evenly matched until the end, when with 7 minutes left, Nebraska scored to win the match. So the 1-0 win with 7 minutes left. I was like, awesome. I thought it was going to be 0-0 because both teams couldn't do anything offensively. And then finally they scored. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was a sellout crowd, so really active. And the stadium is really nice. It's off campus, next to like the tennis courts, maybe like a 5-minute drive from off campus.
Not the same stadium that you have to book tours 2 weeks in advance, correct?
No,
okay.
Not the same. That's Memorial Stadium at the football stadium on campus. You should book 2 weeks in advance. This was just the Barbara and Hefner field. This is where soccer and tennis are played. I'm not sure what else is played there, but definitely soccer and tennis. The 2 biggest sports at the University of Nebraska are football and then women's volleyball. Those are the 2 biggest. The soccer match was really fun, so that was good to see. And I wanted to go to D1 college level sporting event while I was there, and this was the only one, but I was glad we got to go to it.
And it ended on a good note, right?
It did, so I was happy. I bought my Nebraska shirt on campus, and I had my hat, which my sister got me a while ago, so I was wearing both, and I was like, yay, we won. And it was on a charity night, which was good, because it was supporting breast cancer, so I was glad we got to win on that day. And then that was Thursday. So then Friday was the last day I was there. Your listeners will probably love this museum, and you'll probably love it. It's very, 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 very obscure and random. It is the National Historical Society of Germans from Russia Museum. I saw it at TripAdvisor. I was like, I gotta go to this random museum. I actually wanted to go. A, sounded cool, and B, is like, Karina will love it. So like, I gotta go. So it's fun. It has a lot of historical artifacts. Because Nebraska is the hotbed of Germans who moved from Russia, who moved to the United States. They came to Nebraska. Because Catherine the Great, how it was, she wanted a lot of people from Germany to move to Russia to like work and do farming, so she gave them like tax benefits and living arrangements. So like it was really positive for people from Germany to move to Russia. And then her grandson Alexander I was the same. He gave people benefits who were German to move to Russia. But then later on, Alexander II didn't want that because he didn't like Germans. So he said all people must speak Russian. He got rid of all the benefits. So all the agreements, land, property, tax was all taken away. And then all men had to serve in the Russian military and speak only Russian. So as you can expect, the people who were Germans who moved to Russia left. So they were looking for places to move. And Nebraska's like, we want you. Because I was like, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, those states where we want you. And this was during like the 1870s. So they decided to move to Nebraska. So like Nebraska became the hotbed of Germans from Russia moved there. And the museum wasn't originally in Lincoln. It was some other state. But they're like, no, it must come to Nebraska because that's the most famous historical location. So they moved it to Lincoln.
So it was just art that the museum had?
Folk art, quilts, fiber arts. They had this old sewing machines, like the pedal ones. And then it had history of the museum, and I think it's highly recommended if you are someone who is a German from Russia, if you're trying to trace like your family history, family tree, ancestry. Because they have lots of documents on display and records. So like if you join this society, like if it's like $1 a month, then you get complete access to the records.
That's neat, and I assume helpful for anyone who wants to trace their heritage.
I am German, but not from Russia, so I don't think it would have done anything else. Because I'm not Russian, so I don't think it would have done anything. And I can't think of any ancestors had that moved from Germany to Russia. So we've had ancestors who moved from Germany to like the United States, but not Russia. No, it was an interesting museum. It was well done. And it was random, but I liked going there, and it was free. And it was also past the state capitol, so I got to see it again. So it was nice to see it. And then that was really it. So that was my visit to Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska.
You've toured the most, if not all, the entire campus.
Yeah, I toured all of it.
No one asked if you're a student there.
No, not at all. It's one of those places that doesn't, it's like, seems part of the town. Like, it's not some oasis or place, like, full of, like, you immediately know you're on campus. You're like, oh, I'm on campus. It's a very gorgeous campus and full of history, and it's very enjoyable going there. My sister's part of it, being so close to it, was very helpful. The food was very good. I enjoyed the food in Lincoln, so that was positive.
Did you prefer Lincoln over Omaha, or, like, which city did you enjoy more?
They're both different, because when we were in downtown Omaha, it was like the historical district, which I liked. But that's the only part of Omaha I got to see, the historical district and the zoo. So I didn't explore any of the rest of the town. Whereas Lincoln, I explored almost all of it. So, like, I was everywhere in Lincoln. And, like, I started knowing the street names on site, or, like, oh, it's on the street, or, oh, I have to take this street. So, like, after 5 days, I knew all the streets. So then I didn't feel like a tourist, like, oh, I'm just living here. So I guess I liked Lincoln a bit more, but they're both different. Because Lincoln's, like, 300,000 people, and then Omaha, I think, is, like, almost 500. So Omaha's bigger. Omaha has a real skyline. They have real, like, skyscrapers. Not Chicago-level skyscrapers, but they have skyscrapers. I would definitely go back because it was easy to get there, non-stop flights there and back. There's 2 airports in Nebraska, the Lincoln Airport and the Omaha Airport, and they're both easy to access. Going home was nice because I got a free upgrade because I took American Airlines going home from the Omaha Airport, and the flight wasn't that crowded. So since I was an American Airlines rewards member, they upgraded me to the extra room main cabin seat for free, so I didn't mind at all. And it was a huge upgrade. It was like double XL legroom compared to regular main cabin. Because American Airlines regular cabin is notorious for having like no legroom, whereas this one had a lot of legroom. I was like, well, that's nice. The only issues I had traveling were Illinois' fault, so I can't blame Nebraska. Because going to Lincoln, we got delayed at O'Hare, and then going home, we landed, and I got delayed at O'Hare. Because we landed, and they're like, there was a mix-up. We don't have a gate, actually. So we had a taxi for like 45 minutes to find a gate that we could land at. Landed like at gate L, one of those ones like that, and they're like, we have to go to E instead because they're random ones. They finally found one. Thanks for waiting 45 minutes to finally found one. I was like, oh my goodness. I would definitely go to New Mexico and Nebraska again.
Do you have this is my last question, do you have any plans for your next vacation trip? Or dreams where you want to go?
A lot of it depends on time. So, like, in work, so, like, how much days can I take off? I do want to focus again on a place I've not been. So, like, either a state or country I've not been to. That's my goal. I wanted to go on cruises again. So, like, cruise somewhere I haven't been. Because I like cruising. Then there's a lot of good options for that. But even if I can't go cruising in the States, there's some states I want to go to I haven't been. Or if I went to it, it's like at the airport, so it doesn't count. It's like I actually want to go there.
I can't wait to hear the next place you go.
No, thank you. I'll be excited to talk about it with you again.
Thank you, Collin, for sharing your adventures in Nebraska, and thank you to everyone for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out his podcasts, History from the Back Pages and the Bull and Hawk Sports Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find your podcasts. Have a great week.